Hello and welcome back to All the Mods 8. Now, it hasn't been all too long in between episodes this time. All I've mainly done this time is just a bunch of crafting and a few setups, since I figured I'd do some mechanism. That sugarcane is still growing tall over there. But all I've really done is, so far, this door, how it used to rotate, now instead of rotating, I have it on a gantry, so it goes down. But I've been doing a lot of mechanism to prepare for doing the ore doubling. So this is just some basic setups to just making the basics easier. So just automating the basic pieces here. Even got steel and all that. Everything's semi-auto. This is filling up with diamonds, so I can have manual crafting here. And over here is where I started doing setup for ore doubling, which is then going to lead to ore tripling, quadrupling, all that. So I guess I'm just going to keep pausing this in between segments here. Alright. Since I am just gonna keep cutting out, I figure I do every now and then just showing what I've done so far. But figure I need to start getting brine out of this in order to split that into the chemicals needed to run the injection chamber. The injection chamber is then supposed to go into this purification chamber, and then so on and so forth, but that's the step I'm on now. But I've started separating water here. I'm just collecting the hydrogen, and I have it set to dump excess for when it's overfilled. I'm collecting the hydrogen since that can be used as a power source for later, so I can have a generator room just wasting all that away. Then I have the oxygen collecting here, which is used in the purification chamber. And I'm currently trying to add a heater to this thing because it's not producing brine, even though it says all it needs is water. There. Now that should be upping the temperature in this, which is now producing the brine, finally. And now that brine is actually being produced, it should be separating into the two things I need here, chlorine and sodium. Okay. Now I just need to bring this on over. Appears to be a bit of an issue here. Can I reset that to none and then place this? There we go. Yeah, it's in the wire, but it's not doing anything. That is what I needed, right? We go to the quest. I need hydrogen chloride. Oh. Which will then create the hydrogen chloride that I needed for this. I need to grab more pipes. Gas pipe. Tries. There we go. Starting to run out of these. I'm gonna have to make more. Now this should start turning the raw tin into the next material. Yep, I'm getting 10 shards. Alright, so the bottom is input. There, now the thing's full of shards. I'm guessing you just transport them all in a quick second. Alright, so now on to the hardware. My factory should be purifying chamber, enrichment chamber. Okay, so I still need to add the crusher and enrichment chamber onto it. So, crusher. Yep, crusher and then enrichment chamber. I have one of those, right? Made one. I could have swore I made those too. Guess we'll have the final segment in front of this chamber here. So, and I forgot the order again. Crusher, enrichment, okay. And I placed the enrichment first. Crusher, enrichment, place this. Pull that, push into there. There, now these are running again. No. Oh yeah, these need power. Keep forgetting things require power in this pack. Huh? There we go. Now that should run, and I want to grab another gold furnace since I'm pretty sure I made quite a few actually. Gold. Yeah, I have 26 spare. A lot. And then factory upgrade. Alright, so I can just put this here, have this chain over, put that augment in there, and then chain the power over to it. This is making, yeah, it's making dirty tin dust. I set right to input. Will then work? Yes. And then I want left to be output. But that is now properly smelting, so that is this segment done. Yeah, so just one of those chunks turned into dirty dust. But this is already quite a bit of multiplication. So now I can accept this now that I'm actually at this part, and then start of a tier 4 ore factory. Which is where the fancy things start. Okay. Well then, since I'm now on the part where I need a 4th infusing factory, one for a refined obsidian to go into. I have another infusing factory, right? Yep. This one goes here. This is where this will be the obsidian one, since if I remember correctly, that's what that component is, right? Yep, refined obsidian ingots, which is made by putting refined obsidian in there. Which I believe I need to head back and grab the osmium compressor, since now that part's what's required. Alright, just gonna pause here while I set this up. And there we go, a quick little setup to turn obsidian, or send obsidian to an enrichment chamber, then infuse it, which then uses it as the refined obsidian fuel in this one. So now, that is actual progress made towards the next thing. Now I just need to make a bunch of the ingots and alloy in preparation. If I want to make the ingots, I need to use refined obsidian dust and osmium and an osmium compressor with more osmium. Okay, so just osmium and refined. Okay. So this is, I'm just going to set this here for manual crafting. Bring the power supply over. I just need to fill it with osmium. Is there any osmium left up there? No, there's not. How about in this? There are 14 ingots and 1 block. Can I just use the block of raw? No. Can I smelt the raw block directly? No. I guess I have to break it first. Which you can then smelt and then grab this 39 osmium. Throw it there to convert it all. Now refined obsidian dust goes in there. Which is going to take a while since this thing is set to basically autofill that first. I guess I have to break that. Now that connection's broken, I just need to wait for a few pieces. Okay, that took quite a while, but now that I have all the pieces, I can now finally throw that in there and start converting that, which will give me the refined ingots. Now on to the other pieces I need, which is the atomic alloys, which is made out of reinforced alloy, which requires me to infuse this with diamonds. So I just need to throw a bunch of these in with some diamonds. That's what it's saying. Okay, and these will have to be made into this upgraded variant. Remember correctly, the recipe is quite simple. It's just that. There we go. Now I got 64 of the upgraded variant. Now I infuse these with diamonds. No, that's not it. Oh, I see. It it's just a continual loop of just upgrading these to the next one. Okay, so that's simple. Reminds me, I should probably set that back to doing that. Now that that's filling the next machine up with those. Can't remember, why exactly did I need one of these to fill with obsidian? Yeah, that's made into a compressor. Oh, for the atomic alloy, the upgraded variant of these. Okay. So that goes there. Grab a few of these to convert some of these early. But yeah, that's a crafting ingredient there. Okay. And I believe I only needed 2 of these for now. Yep, which means I just have to wait till I have 4 of these atomic ones. Why is there only 24 tin here? Did something go wrong? It's bouncing back off the crusher? There we go. Okay, that was the issue. It was set to the wrong setting. But now that that's working fine. Alright, and just finished crafting this, so now I have the chemical dissolution chamber. Which, where does this go on the setup now? 3 more machines to the current setup. The first part of this process is the chemical dissolution chamber, which is what I just made. So where does this go in the machine though? First part, this machine requires sulfuric acid to break down the ores into an ore slurry. To get the sulfuric acid, we need a new setup, which is explained further in the above quest. Alright, on to that now. I've completed another segment. I have the oxygen then, or I have this whole setup, which requires gunpowder to go in here, which also requires the hydrogen chloride I made from the brine earlier. So by combining those two together, I'm now making sulfur here, which I need to grab a piece to complete the quest, I believe. Oh, it's making the wrong sulfur dust. Okay. I guess I'll have to cheat that in a second here. Oh yeah, I was looking to see if that creative vending item had a crafting recipe. Because I was kind of hoping it would later on. Although I know it'd probably take a ridiculous amount to get to. What was I just looking for again? Oh yeah, the sulfur from the other mod. Sulfur. So... I'm not going to bother spelling it. Thermal series sulfur. It's thermal series. Where's mechanism sulfur? Does mechanism sulfur not actually exist? No, it doesn't look like it does. So I guess quest line, go here, press A. Then steal that from there. Now the quest is complete. Okay. Turn that off. Alright, so that's now that reward done, which I'm going to head back over here real quick. Oh yeah, my jetpack's on. I didn't realize I was on. Just throw these in here since I don't need them. Oh yeah, and I made the configuration tools needed for drawers and such. So that way I can actually lock the item in place. Turn my jetpack off. But yeah, now this all goes towards here to all that just to make the sulfuric acid needed. So yeah, hydrogen chloride and gunpowder go into the injection chamber. That then goes into an oxidizer, and then the oxidizer then sends it into an infuser where it's mixed with regular oxygen, and then that makes the sulfurgen dioxide, which is then mixed with the water vapor, which is just water in a rotary condenser. After setting it to after changing its mode so it goes into decondensating, if you click this button here, and then makes the water vapor, which then goes into another infuser, which then makes sulfuric trioxide, which acid. Oh, no, this is sulfuric dioxide, this is trioxide, this is just sulfuric acid. I was a bit confused there for a second. But now I'm on to the chemical washer, so until the next segment. Alright, finally it has been completed. This gigantic setup required. Though I've probably made it more convoluted by making it spaghetti style instead of trying to make it neat, but oh well. Doesn't matter if it's neat, matter that it works. But yeah, next segment where the sulfuric acid then goes into, which is also where the raw ore is going into. You had the previous setups, it was going into the injection chamber or a purification chamber earlier. Or crusher, one of those. But now, once you're at this segment, the raw ore goes in this dissolution chamber, which then turns into a dirty lead slurry if you're using lead. Which then, it needs a pressurized tube, which took me probably longer than I should admit to figure out. Because you think a slurry would be a liquid, right? But yeah, that then goes into the chemical washer, which then I have water going in from the Cooking for Blockhead sink, so it's infinite water. I have that going there, which then gets washed, and then that then gets transported over here in the clean slurry. And then that clean slurry is turned into crystals, and every 3 crystals then go over here. Which then starts the process of the entire previous segment of ore multiplication. So then leads all the way here, creating a very large amount from a very small input. Yep, that's ore duplication, and I hope you enjoyed this episode, even though it was probably more boring than most. But yeah, if you enjoyed it, thank you for watching. I probably should have done a few more subscribes earlier, but oh well. If you did enjoy this episode, please subscribe, since, you know, you need subscribers on YouTube. Thank you for watching. Bye.